Hey, what's going on, guys? I hope you all are doing well today. Elliot here. Welcome back to The Fragrance Well. So, I asked my wife the other day, can you rate the top date night fragrances that I have in my collection? So what I ended up doing was I just brought her a ton of my collection that I would consider, hey, this could work for a date night. And I had her just kind of go through all of them and give me her top 10. Let me just say this, a little bit of a caveat. My wife is not one to like the run-of-the-mill, most popular fragrances. She doesn't necessarily hate them right off the bat. She's just not as impressed by them. So this list should be very interesting. And she's not a frag head like me, so don't think it's because, oh, she's into fragrances, therefore she's not gonna like the typical stuff. It's not that serious for her. Before we get started, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel if you like the content, and hit that bell icon so you can be notified when I upload new content. All right, let's get into it. All right, let's go ahead and get it started. Let me just say that I really like this list, but there definitely were some surprises on here and some that I would have considered being in the top 10 that she did not choose. So once again, these are her choices, not mine. So at the number 10 spot, Dior Fahrenheit Parfum. I definitely approve of this choice. Dior Fahrenheit Parfum. Probably the most popular available flanker to the original Dior Fahrenheit. Has some booziness to it, still retains a lot of that nice spice, still has that lavender, but the petrol vibe coming from that violet leaf has been turned down quite a bit. It's not as leathery either, but it definitely has a nice allure and a sexiness to it. And for the type of date night you would want to wear this for, this is definitely a steak dinner or a more elegant dinner. Decently nice to really nice restaurant is what I would wear this for. What do you guys think of this one? Is this a good date night choice? I think my wife chose a good one here. Once again, number 10, this is Dior Fahrenheit Parfum. All right, so coming in at the 9th spot, this one's probably not a surprise for a lot of people, and it's actually one I personally wouldn't choose, but I cannot deny that it does work. Giorgio Armani Acqua di Gio Profumo. Acqua di Gio Profumo. Once again, this is in the 9th spot. So this is an aquatic fragrance first and foremost, but it has that very nice incense and patchouli in the base. Also got some slightly spicy accords, and it's quite aromatic in the heart of the fragrance as well. I primarily pick up sage. I don't hate this fragrance, I just kind of like it. I don't love it, and it's just one that I'm not overly impressed with, but if I was going to have an Acqua di Gio in my collection, it still would be this one. I have smelled the new Parfum. I'm not as impressed by it. I am kind of glad they're keeping this type of DNA around, but I think they lightened that one up too much for my liking. As far as I'm concerned, the patchouli is basically gone from it, so that really pissed me off. With all that being said, this is an any occasion, any situation date night fragrance. You can pretty much wear this regardless of where you're going or what you're doing for your date night. It will pretty much work. So I have to give it to it. This is a solid choice. What do you guys think? You probably agree. Acqua di Gio Profumo. All right, so coming in at the 8th spot, this one kind of surprised me. Frankly, I think most women wouldn't even have this in their top 100 date night fragrances, but I am certainly pleased about it. From Homme Oud, this is Interlude Man. Yeah, that's right. She said Homme Oud Interlude Man beats out fragrances like Naxos. Oh man. Now me personally, I love this fragrance. I love that incense. I love those smoky accords. I love the leathery tones to it. It's rich, it's full. She did tell me that the kind of fragrances she thinks about for a date night, she primarily thinks upscale, very nice dinner, and she wants something that is bold and strong for a date night fragrance on me. This one certainly fits that bill. I think for most people though, they'd be like, I don't know, I wouldn't know what to do with a fragrance like this, but all I know is I love this fragrance. It was a love at first sniff for me. When I let her smell it, I don't really remember her initial reaction, but she did like it from what I remember. She's never had to like get used to anything like this. So that told me right off the bat, she likes richer, deeper, more interesting, more mysterious fragrances. So that certainly works in my favor. But again, there were a lot of fragrances I thought she definitely would have considered putting on the list that she literally handed right back to me. I'm not gonna go over all of them, there's too many to list, but I definitely mentioned Naxos in particular because I know that's probably a top date night fragrance for a lot of you guys. Anyway, coming in at the 8th spot, this is Homme Oud Interlude Man. All right, so coming in at the 7th spot, my wife went with this one, Hermes Carved Oud. Hermes London's Carved Oud. So if you know anything about Carved Oud, it's very similar to Tom Ford Oud Wood. I didn't even bring her Oud Wood because I already know she does like this one just like me better than Oud Wood. I wasn't gonna bring her the same thing. If I had left this out and brought her Oud Wood, I imagine it actually would have been in this list as well. So it's got that nice spice in it. It has the woody nature to it. This one is a much richer version of an Oud Wood style fragrance. And also this primarily has a lot of patchouli in it. I think that's the biggest separating factor from Oud Wood. And also there's this kind of underlying candied sweetness that kind of comes in around the mid of the fragrance that you don't really get out of Oud Wood. Even though this fragrance is done in a way that's a little bit more mysterious and richer and darker than Oud Wood is, I still would say that you could probably wear this for just about anything. Maybe not every single thing, but most dinner situations, most situations where you're doing some kind of activity that's not too wild, I think this fragrance will work for that as well. Once again, wife put this one at the 7th spot, Thameen London's Carved Oud. Next up, in the 6th spot, she went with Xerjoff's Alexandria 2. I definitely approve of this choice. Xerjoff Alexandria 2. Another, call it oriental style, woody fragrance, a lot of spice, has some lavender and some apple to give it a nice pop in the opening. Has a little bit of an effervescence to it. As it dries down, you really start to get more of the characteristics of the oud in this fragrance. You get green like accord, you get a little bit of a smokiness to it. You get awesome styles of woodiness to it. Beautiful fragrance. I love this. This would probably be in my top 3 for date night fragrances, but it at least made the top 10, so I'm happy. Another one that I would primarily wear to a more elegant dining situation, mid-level to higher level dining. Also, if you've noticed, this is the 3rd fragrance in a row that has some kind of oud in it, so wife likes oud. Once again, at the 6th spot, Xerjoff Alexandria 2. All right, so on to the top 5. Now at the 5th spot, we did have one that I think most people would say that one's gotta be on the list, and it did make the list. Dolce & Gabbana's The One Eau de Parfum. The One Eau de Parfum. Let's just call it the quintessential designer date night fragrance. I was curious to see if at least one of these was gonna make it on. La Nuit de l'Homme did not. Primarily known for having that beautiful cardamom and ginger combination combined with some orange blossom and some tobacco, cedar, and ambery notes in the base. I don't need to talk too much about this one. Most people probably know that, yeah, this is a great date night fragrance. Designed solely for that purpose, in my opinion. Yes, you can wear it everywhere else, but it works at its best for a date night. Once again, at the 5th spot, Dolce & Gabbana's The One Eau de Parfum. All right, so at the 4th spot, she kept that spicy tobacco vibe alive. Amouage Journeyman. Amouage Journeyman, another favorite of mine, definitely a top date night fragrance choice for me. Again, spices and tobacco, certainly a much different approach to that theme than the One Eau de Parfum. Certainly not as sweet as that, but it does have some sweetness to it. A lot more fresh spices combined with some warm spices as well. More forward tobacco accords along with some incense, kind of introducing a little bit of a smokiness to this, although I wouldn't really call this a smoky tobacco fragrance. I would also kind of wear this one to a mid-level to higher level restaurant, but wife likes to always say, if you're ever wearing this one, that means we're going out to eat like some Indian food or some Thai food or something like that. Anywhere where you know the spice level can literally melt your head off your body. Once again, at the 4th spot, Amouage Journeyman. All right, so we're moving on to the top 3. I would pay money to see if any woman who was not an enthusiast with fragrances had a similar top 3 to this, in the States that is. At the 3rd spot, we've got Roja Parfum's Danger Pour Homme. Danger, the Parfum concentration. I know they have a Parfum cologne, and I think it used to have an Eau de Parfum. Oh man, this is a good one. So this is a very spicy and woody fragrance, but it has a lot of lavender in the top to kind of give it this cleanliness to it. Lavender is really the only note I can clearly pick out. There is a lemony vibe to go along with that lavender, but supported by just a lot of spiciness, a lot of woodiness, and it's kind of hard to pinpoint which ones you're smelling. It just all blends together into this beautiful, sexy, grown man date night fragrance. This right here is top scale restaurant stuff here. You're going out to get a top tier steak restaurant or top tier seafood dinner or something else a little bit more elegant, some French cuisine. This is the one you gotta go with here. Danger Parfum Pour Homme from Roja Parfums. Excellent date night choice, and also one I definitely approve of and would put on my top list for date night fragrances. All right, so coming in at the 2 spot, I did not see this coming. I had a feeling she might put it on the list because I know she does like oud like I do, but I didn't see this one coming. Arabian Oud, Blue Oud, at the number 2 spot. Arabian Oud, Blue Oud. Now, if anybody knows anything about this fragrance, it is literally just oud with just like a sprinkling of musk mixed in. I'm gonna tell you right now, the fragrance is amazing. However, if you don't like oud, you won't like this fragrance. It has Cambodian oud and Indian oud in it, and that's it. I kind of get ticked off at the characteristics this fragrance is listed as on Parfumo. They say it's animalic woody. First of all, that is not true. There is a little bit of an animalic touch to it in the opening of the fragrance, but there is so much more going on that it's really a shame that they characterize it that way. If you've ever smelled real oud before, it has its own note breakdown. I mean, there's sweetness to this, there's resinous to this, there's a little bit of smokiness to it, there's fruitiness to this, there's green-like vibes, of course there's woodiness to it as well. When this fragrance dries down, it goes through such a transition, it is insane. And oh, by the way, real oud in here, not imitation oud. But it does check all the boxes that my wife likes. It's a strong fragrance, it's a bold fragrance, it's mysterious, it's very elegant. If I'm going to a very high-end dining situation, I definitely would consider this one. That's her number 2 fragrance, Arabian Oud's Blue Oud. Basically just oud oil. And we finally made it to the number 1 fragrance, my wife's top date night fragrance at this time. She actually went with a quote-unquote freshie. Orto Parisi's Bergamasque. Orto Parisi's Bergamasque. Now, I don't know if she picked this one because A, she wanted me to wear it that day because we actually were going out that night. And it's just really, really hot out. Could be a summertime choice, but I do agree. This is a great date night fragrance, actually. This fragrance really can work for anything. It is a powerful fragrance. It is a full fragrance, but it is also a very simple fragrance, but it does what it does very well. Very nice citruses, a little bit of a cleanliness to it. I think there may be some aldehydes in here, and also a really nice, sensual but deep musk. Almost animalic when you first spray it on. Fragrance smells amazing, and it is versatile enough to where you can wear it at any date night situation. Now, I probably wouldn't put this on my top 10 date night fragrances. I do love the fragrance, I just have other stuff I would rather go for, but I can't deny that this is a good choice, and I think my wife did a good job with her top 10 date night choices. Number 1, Orto Parisi's Bergamasque. Alright guys, that's a video. What do you guys think of my wife's date night choices? Are any of these ones you would put on your own list? And also, if you have someone that you go on dates with regularly, what's something that they like to wear, or what's a fragrance you've worn on a date night that you've gotten good feedback from? Let me know down in the comments below. Remember to be well and smell well, and I will see you in the next episode of The Fragrance Well. Have a good one.